everyone, how are you? Right, so actually this is a bit of a tease. I'm not going to open this this one today. I'm going to do it in the next video. You're welcome to put guesses as to what you think it is in the comments below. But excuse me. Yep. So I'm recording this Sunday evening, and yesterday I went to the Birmingham Guitar Show 2024. I was kind of in two minds about whether to go, but I thought, well, why don't you go? You know, I mean, I didn't go last year, you know, because I was sort of, you know, I mean, various reasons, but I was sort of, I mean, last year, I mean, it wasn't the best time for me, really. But anyway, I mean, yesterday, you know, so I decided to go. Got myself up, you know, nice and early. Got there, and it's out in Solihull, so it means like a big long bus ride going, you know, I don't know whether you've ever done this, where you're taking like a big long bus ride somewhere and you don't know where you're going, but luckily, you know, like there's like an automated voice just telling you what the stops are, and like, you know, having the you know, in the Google Maps, I mean, that really helps as well, because it tells you, you know, which stop to get off at, you know, and so you're just waiting for that to be announced, and then you know, it's pretty much you pretty much see it when you actually, you know, get off the bus. But so anyway, when I got there, it's quite a long queue, and I wasn't sure, you know, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be that popular, but you know, it was a fairly lengthy queue, but we managed to get in. So I was there sort of like around 11:30ish, I think. Anyway, managed to get in. Had a good mooch. And then you know, I knew Rob Chapman was going to be there, so I mean, so I didn't actually get to speak to Rob, but you know, he was playing, and he was playing that tune, you know, on his channel, or like that tune they used to use for like the Andertons, you know, the channel. He was playing that tune, whatever that's called, and you could tell he was absolutely, you know, he was in his element. He was absolutely you know, I mean, whatever you say about him, you know, he's a born performer. You know, he's got all those years of, you know, trade shows and YouTube under his belt, and gigs and whatnot. And you can tell he's at his best, you know, when he's got a guitar in his hands, and you know, and a big snarling amp behind him, and he was just, yeah, he was just really enjoying what he was doing, and he was, I mean, I was quite surprised, because I had a look. I was expecting him, you know, to have like a big pedal board and whatnot, but you know, all he had was like a ghost fret, which is basically, it's like an Explorer shaped thing, and just going into a Katana Artist, and but it sounded really good. So and then of course, you know, there's like a new line of these, you know, the Chapman guitars have come out, and some of the older ones where I think they're either being phased out, or they had like some sort of new old stock things. So you could get some bargains, you know, if that was what you wanted. A few people, you know, actually knew Rob better, were saying hello, and you know, what have you. I saw this lad was, you know, he was tentatively thinking of buying one, and then Rob said, yeah, go and buy it, go on, you know, and you know, and then took a photo with him, and so I mean, even though he didn't say hello to me, I think he knew I was there, you know, and I recognised, there's a guy called, is it the Novice Noisemaker? I recognised him, and there's another lad there as well. I forget his name. But then I saw like Dave Simpson and CC, and CC's parents. Anyway, and they came in, and you know, gave Rob a hug and whatnot, and so, yeah. So anyway, so that was that. But but I was quite surprised, because then like Cece and Cece's mum actually recognised me. So big shout out to them if you're watching. Hello. Because we met at the 2022 guitar show, and since then I hadn't actually realised it, but they've actually been following me, which is great. So yeah, so we just said hello, and we're just catching up on news and things like that, and it was actually just quite a surprise, to find out that to find out that people on YouTube are actually quite down to earth, that they're not they haven't let fame go to their head, so anyway, I was sort of having like I say, I'm having a bit of a mooch. I was actually quite surprised, like some of the luthiers that they've got, that sort of these, some of these smaller operations. There's a place called Loxley Guitars. Now it's something to do with Robert of Loxley, who's like Robin. I'm a big Robin Hood fan, but it's something to do with Robert. They're actually based in Sheffield, and he had some he had some of his versions of like the Brian May Red Special, but sort of boutique level, like with sort of like with flame maple tops and higher end components and stuff like that. And I was able to actually have a go and compare that with that Burns Brian May guitar that I've got, and to find out that the neck on it is really thick. It's almost like a tree trunk, bigger than a baseball bat, but it's like it's sort of so I was able to actually have a go on one of those, and I was getting some ideas, the sort of stuff he does, and he was saying that that basically you could do like a Murphy Lab sort of level Les Paul type guitar, but for about the same price as like a core Gibson model, So that's something to think about, maybe a bit further down the line. There are a few other, like boutique people, but I didn't get much chance to speak to them. I sort of like had certain ideas about what I wanted to actually have a look at today. Sorry, not today, yesterday. Beg your pardon. And then there was this other place was like just selling like some used guitars. PMT were there, Guitar were there, but there's this place, something Pro Audio, I forget their name now, but they had like a whole load of like used Strats and sort of other things, and so I was trying something out, I was trying out a few things there, which was good. But as I was saying, this whole thing about like the noise level. That there's even like this like printed, this little a bit of A4 paper which it was on Rob Chapman's stall actually, and it just had this timetable about saying speakers off, where there'd be certain times of the day where you could play loud, but for a lot of the time it was kind of like the noise level was just down to like sort of conversation level, so it was a lot better in that way. Which meant there wasn't all that sort of amateur night guitar cacophony going on in the background, which is so it was a lot more manageable. I think they must have taken that on board in the past. What else? Oh yeah, so I had lunch. I brought like a sandwich, but I was still feeling quite peckish. So I went in the restaurant, got some skin on fries and a Coke. Sat down, chatting to a few people there, and then Rob and his team they sat on the table next to me, which is so you just and I don't want to make it all about Rob, but you can actually just see like he is one of those people. What you see is what you get. That's who he is. He's not he's not like a an act he puts on. Obviously he must play it up to the camera every so often, but you kind of see that's who he is, and so But I was, yeah, by around sort of 1:30ish, I was getting pretty tired, and I was getting serious Guy Fawkes of the leg. Now, what does that mean? It's a reference to Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer, but I'm not going to go into that now. Basically, like, my legs were getting tired. So I headed back. There was a bus around 2 o'clock, and then I was able to. Actually, I didn't get this from the guitar show. I actually got this from Guitar. I had a deposit down on it, and I was kind of telling myself, that I'd go to that guitar show. I thought, right, well, I've got that deposit on this guitar. If I see something cooler for a similar price at the show, I'll get that instead. But I was able to just control my urges. I mean, I saw a lot of cool stuff yesterday, but then I thought, no, I think this is still, this is still a good deal. And it was great just to chat to a few people, and even though this channel, it's not as big as some of the others, it was great just to actually just blend in and just be friendly with people. Like whether people recognise me from here or not. A lot of people did recognise me. I think that maybe that's just because of how often I go up to Birmingham and frequent all the guitar shops and whatnot. You'll find it's sort of it's a small world. But yeah, so some of the takeaways from that, I mean, it's sort of like, I think I can, I start being a bit more open, I can be a very private person, I know that, but when you go to things like that, and you realise, how, everybody's got this common interest of guitars and stuff, and how you do know people, or how easy it is to get to know people, it's always good just to be a bit more open, not arrogant, but just just be a bit more open and honest with people, be friendly and what have you. And also, like from watching what Rob was doing, you can tell, he's a rock player at heart, and you can tell that, like, perhaps from being a young age, that's what he's wanting to do, and he's pursued it, and he's actually made a go of it, and so it started to make me question, like, well, what is it that I do, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not as much of a rock guy these days. I'm more towards, that sort of like fusion and that type of thing. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just be pursuing that, like going after that style, which I'm starting to, to make my own, and focus on that, and then start cutting down on the other things which which aren't really within my compass, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I mean, maybe just be a bit more open to to getting out there and see what's going on, and I have a bit more of a bit more confidence in getting out there and putting videos out, and maybe like maybe if in real life maybe we meet that perhaps we could have a conversation or whatever. But yeah, I don't want to leave it too long today. But as I say, I've got this other one coming up, and I bet you can't wait to find out what it is. So I'm going to leave it till then. All right. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Please comment below, especially if you want to guess what's in the guitar. I'll see you next time.